Hello and welcome to the Astroflower, and this is going to be a reading for the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April, and it's going to be leading into the monthly reading. So basically, if you don't know anything about eclipses, basically it's when the moment, obviously, when the moon goes in front of the sun, and it's in the perfect position where you can have a full eclipse or partial eclipse and stuff like that. And what we got coming up on the 30th of April during Taurus season is a partial eclipse, and it's going to be in the Antarctic region and in South America. So going up and touching basically the root chakra. So it appears to be sort of like, playing on anything that's connected to your roots. And usually when eclipse happens, so magnetically what happens is it acts a little bit like a focal lens for the Earth. So it creates this magnetic pull even more towards the sun, which is going to pull the Earth's energy and make it a little bit more sort of accentuated across the board and heighten those elements that are within all of our flowers. So our astro flowers, that is. So it makes this, it pulls it like a magnet, if you like. And in so many cultures, it's been tied into auspicious occasions. People sort of prophesize with it and etc. Certainly, people see it as a changing moment between two periods. But this year is a little bit special. It's quite nice. It's quite interesting. First things first, we have that partial eclipse on the 30th of April, which is in the Taurus season, and we'll be going into the elements a little bit on that. And also, there is just after that, on May the 15th, I think it is, or the 16th actually, is a total lunar eclipse, which is from the blood moon as well, the fire moon, as it were, the blood moon, the red moon, which is coming up also in Taurus season. Then we have another eclipse, and this time it's total eclipse, and it's up in the region of Russia. You're going to be able to see it also if you're in Eastern Europe and Northern Eastern Europe, and also in the UK. You should be able to see part of it. Please go and check out on the internet exactly just sort of where you are. I don't have the maps at hand, but yeah, it roughly goes into there. But that's funny enough because that's on the 25th of October, so that's in Scorpio season. Now, if you know anything about the Astroflower, if you don't, go down in the links below. You can discover a lot about the Astroflower, about the petals, about the elements, and about the qualities, and how it all sort of works together as a tool to help you develop your life. It's a personal development tool, basically, and that could be within your business, and that could be within emotions and relationships and work you need to do in your lives. We've all got a bit of work to do at some point. So so the next total eclipse is on the 25th of October. So that's in Scorpio season. So let's just have a look at those two flowers there. Now they're opposite one another within the the astrology sort of ring, as it were. And they're opposite each other. They're both fixed signs. But the funny thing is Taurus is 2/3 earth and 1/3 fire, whereas Scorpio is 2/3 water and 1/3 air. And when you can see this between these two signs here, where you have air, well, there on the lower parts of the petals in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Scorpio, you have fire in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Taurus, and where you have the earth, you have water in Taurus. So Scorpio and Taurus are very, very connected between these two signs. They do actually they're very complementary. And when you look at them as lovers, and when you invert the flowers upon one another, they do work really well. So, and the most interesting thing here is probably that earth, that air and fire. And what we can see is at the surface is the cardinal fire that comes in through Taurus, that comes from Aries, and the cardinal air that comes up through Scorpio, which comes from Libra. They're going in either sense to one another, and they sort of, one is a provocation from the exterior, that's Taurus, in the way of passions and etc. And then it's provoking ideas and mental stimulation, which comes up through Scorpio. So basically, on this partial eclipse, and it's to do with the root, and I would have thought it's going to be the lower petals that are going to be affected the most, you may get a situation where the passion of the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April is just like the starting gun. So it's like the first domino that falls before we can get to the whole big dominoes that actually do fall. And because we get from a partial to a total, and we have those lunar eclipses as well, the one on the May the 17th and November the 5th as well, just after the other one, it's like it's a beginning and an end date. So this, between the 30th of April going right through to the 5th of November, it's going to be interesting what sort of things are sort of instigated during this eclipse and how they follow all the way through to the eclipse that are coming up in October and the eclipse in November, which will be the finality of it all. Okay, so Scorpio used to be back in the days of Babylon and etc. Scorpio was actually a weighing machine. So you had the two claws of Scorpio, and you'd hold it by the tail, and you can weigh goods and what have you on it. So it's a little bit about judgment, and Scorpio and Libra were certainly signs that were made after we changed from a 10 to a 12-month period, and they were taken out of Virgo and Sagittarius. So it is a little bit about sort of judgment in a way. And Scorpios have certainly, they're very concerned with sort of human rights and that sort of things. So that could well have something to do with it on a global sort of sense. We did do world readings on what we were calling the Taurus event, and this could well be it. Although I was, inclined more to the May the 12th, this could well be the time when it actually sort of happens. So the moon with its 28-day cycle is just a reflection of the sun, because the sun's most perfect rotation section is 28.5 days. It's an average of 30.5 days. Now, once you take into the North Pole and the equator, which gives us our 30 days and 31 days of the Gregorian calendar. So, and that's why February is 28 days to respect the moon. And that comes with Aquarius, the human side, the washing away. Now, I did mention this in Cymatic TV as well, and you may want to go and see that when I did an energy update. And I was talking about a tsunami of water, like emotions that's going to be coming through. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well on our sister channel. So without further ado, let's get on with your reading, shall we, for this eclipse. And as I said, we'll be reading the eclipse reading from tarot cards, doing a full flower. And then there's a separate video coming out where you will be getting the monthly readings. So, because obviously it starts off with eclipse May, it sort of finishes April on the eclipse, and it's starting off May from that eclipse. So we're going to be going from one to the other. I will be separating this into two videos, which you will be able to get the link for the second one, which is the monthly one, where we will be at the end pulling 6 cards to just see what that 6-month period is between those two eclipses. So if you're ready, strap in. This is going to be a bit of a journey. And don't forget, this may not resonate for everybody. This is obviously a general reading, so please take it as it resonates with you. Certainly with the eclipse one, it's not personal. It's more of a guidance more than anything else. Okay. So Cancer, let's get into your reading. Let's just see what's going on for you in this eclipse. Wow. Already, it's just funny enough, there's just a lot of these cards that have actually been coming out in most other people. What is going on, Cancer? What are you playing at? Oh, my word. My giddy up. Okay. Well, don't forget, this is not about you. This is, well, it is about you, obviously, but it's about the eclipse and what the eclipse is creating in the environment that is around you. So this is not necessarily a Nine of Swords is your problem. Let's be very clear about that. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have stress and sleepless nights. That is what you've got to deal with in the world around you. Okay? And the Ten of Swords. Because you're so family orientated and you're a very business astute person, really. Although sometimes you allow your sense of family and fair play, as it were, get in the way of old paradigm business. In the future, that is going to be completely different. But at the moment, as it's coming through for this eclipse, and this is just the initiator as well, we're going to be going into the monthly reading after this reading, which you'll be able to find links in the description below. And we're going to look and pull cards for the next 6 months, going up to the full eclipse in October, to see how it all sort of pans out for you. But for the initial sort of thing coming on or coming through you, there is a definite change going on. So looking on the emotional side, so this is the emotional side and this is the financial side. So this is to do with relationships and stuff like that, and this is to do with jobs and businesses and what have you. On the emotional sort of side, you know, you've got the World card and the Fool. That couldn't signify any more clearly the idea of the World card is, you know, she's surrounded by these two sort of rings of petals or flowers or leaves, and at the base and at the top there is this inversion moment, which is basically the beginning and the ending of the eclipse as far as I can see. So this is the initiator and this is the finality. So this new cycle, the ending of this cycle, may take around about sort of 6 months to process through the world around you. And as it does, you're going to find yourself in a completely new position by the looks of things. And this initiator of the eclipse is going to really push you on in a certain direction. After that, you've got the Seven of Wands. So as this change does come in, and the Fool, and you know, the Fool is a bit like where everybody's taking a bit of leap of faith around you. So this may mean that the emotional part of the world is very unstable in a way, that there is a lot of people doing off the cuff sort of things that may not necessarily bode with you. You're more likely to be within your patience, and that's what that is all about. But also, let me just grab it, that Four of Swords as well. So that is going in, living in your own space, you know, knowing what you can do, the victories of how you can make life very passionate, and you're keeping, but you may find others may want to try and knock you off your perch with their enthusiasm for madcap schemes. You never know. The things that are around you in the world may seem a little bit insecure in their emotions and stuff like that. And I would suggest sort of taking it easy and just healing yourself of not getting involved in that and allowing this moment and this eclipse moment to sort of just wash through the system. Because at the end of it, you've got the Ace of Swords. Now, this is how you combine this is how both sides of the eclipse combine each other. So it's definitely the starting of a new pathway, but there's also victories and gifts offering to you from this situation that is around you. So if it's a new financial sort of situation, new financial landscape, you will be able to take advantages of that new landscape. And as you do take advantages of it, you're going to be able to build upon you and your community at large. On the financial sort of side, and this is where we can see it a lot more, and we've seen it with other people, Because in a lot of other people, they've had the 7 of Swords, they've had the 9 of Swords, they've had the 8 of Swords, they've had the 10 of Swords. You're not the only one here. And as I say, it's a thing that's going on around you. It's not necessarily what's going on in you. Okay? And if you do this, and this is what this Hermit card's all about. So you've got 3 of them now, really, that are sort of saying, stay within you. And I guess the Queen of Cups is as well, sort of being secure about your emotions. The Hermit, the Eclipse is sort of saying it's going to mess up. There's going to be things that it's going to go a little bit awry. And as it goes a little bit awry, you have just got to, be secure within yourself. Know your own power, which is a little bit like the 7 of Wands. Know your own worth, know your own knowledge, know your own message that you're trying to carry to the universe around you or the world that is around you. Because the eclipse is definitely going to cause a lot of worry on the financial front. That's what it appears to be like, because it's coming up in everybody's cards. And it may be a case of having to walk away from a painful situation and moving on to, it could be like the internet goes down or something like that, which would obviously cause a lot of problems and financially. It could be a case of, that you've definitely got to walk away from something that's actually been hurting you. And if we look at the system of the financial system and everything like that, it's not providing for everybody. Let's be honest. And that was what was one of the golden rules in the economy set back in hundreds of years ago, that it has to be for the benefit of all. They took that rule out in the 1960s or 70s, as far as I can remember. They took that rule out, and since then, business has basically been about me taking everything and you having nothing. If you look at the super rich, that's pretty much what's going on. And they seem to be, it seems to be squeezing out the last little bits of juice, as someone would once say, out of the general economy. And it seems to be all filtering up to the top. And the trickle-down economics, which they were talking about the 1980s, and I'm showing my age here, but the trickle-down economics seems to have gone into that pole shift and is now going the other way, rather than actually providing for everyone on it. And so with this change that's coming in place, it's going to sort of stir up and ignite your passions to go ahead and go on and go forth into this new landscape and explore. And you're gonna be a bit of a leader by the looks of things, just because you're just going to go ahead and do it and not get caught up in that emotional sort of headless chicken sort of scenario, because you've also got in the center of you the Queen of Cups. Now she's completely, she's on the beach, but she's she's on the beach, so she's on the sand, but actually she's got her feet in the water. If that's not what a crab is, I don't know what is. This is all about you. And this is really, I think this eclipse is going to define you. Or it will define a certain aspect within you. Don't forget, this is a general reading. This is not specific. So you obviously got to take it as it resonates, and according to what you are doing in your life, the more consciousness you put into your life, the easier it will be to get in tune with the vibrations that are all around you that we go into on Somatic TV. And I think if you do this, if you take that time to realize that I need to be a little bit more reserved before I move forward and look at the situation around me, you will be able to, come out of this really good. Okay? That's what the eclipse sort of seems to be setting up for Cancer at the moment. Okay? So let's go into your monthly reading. You'll find a description. Can you believe that? None of that. The world already. You'll find a link in the description below in the 9 of Cups. You'll find in the link in the description below for this monthly reading. Come over here and join us. So if you're already part of the Astroflower family, welcome back to the family meeting. If you're not, come and join us, be part of the family. Subscribe and click that bell. Love to see you. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, and I'll see you for the monthly reading.